This project, video, and this channel were all kind of spur-of-the-moment decisions, but more on that later. After watching Miscast's video about Monster Bash 3, I decided I would join. Regardless of the fact, I'm not a master hobbyist, painter, or sculptor, and that I only had a week left if I wanted to try and publish whatever I came up with before Halloween. So I immediately got to work randomly choosing my monster bits in the most scientific way possible, showing the card video to my 7-month-old daughter and hit pause whenever she laughed. I only chose 6 because I didn't know I was actually supposed to choose 7. I'll do 8 next time as penance or something. I was rushing, but this is what I got. A demon skull, a pumpkin skull on a spine, a candle, some kind of darkness with slashes that I interpreted as fur, a bug, scythe, arm thing, and gruesome stretched flesh. With the skull and the fur, I immediately thought of doing a kind of Krampus or Elias Ainsworth demon. I gave it bug arms, a pumpkin spine staff, ripped stretched flesh under the fur, and candles on the skull because I thought it'd be different than just slapping them on the base. With my sketch done, drawing's not my specialty, I head to the store because I knew that my bits box didn't have the parts I wanted. Then I hit my first hiccup. I was hoping to get a cheap plastic skeleton, or better yet, a rubber praying mantis, but that would have been too easy. Apparently, Walmart decided it's time for Christmas even though Halloween hasn't even happened yet. All the cheap Halloween decorations were gone. No worries, I'll try the toy section. Dead end there too. No skeleton, no praying mantis, and none of the dinosaurs had the arms that I wanted. Going back to the drawing board, I realized I'd already planned on 3D printing the demon skull and pumpkin parts with free files, so why not try making my own arms? They're organic shapes, and that's pretty easy to do in VR. I had a basic scrap blade I'd made before, which I used as the base for my arm scythe thing. The body wouldn't be solved until I went to my brother to hand over the files for printing, and I remembered he'd printed some bone trolls in the past. Lo and behold, he still had one with a minor imperfection he let me use. Perfect to hack apart with an X-Acto saw. Which leads to the next roadblock in making this video. I'd love to show you the process of carefully sawing the troll and cleaning up the hazardous resin dust, and then green stuff sculpting, but on my inexpert attempts at making a time-lapse, I let the camera auto-stabilize, which gave me... So, yeah, that's a whole evening of footage down the drain. But I had the body of my monster made, and it just needed fur, paint, and basing. After letting the green stuff harden overnight, I started applying paint by priming it with gesso, an acrylic medium with a little bit of chalk, normally used for preparing canvases. I like using this instead of spray paint because I don't have a garage, and the weather is bad half the year where I live. The primer dry, I went back to painting, starting with the bone parts. I'm not the best painter, but I'm confident at tabletop standard. I used mostly Reaper and Army Painter paints, mixing colors when I needed to. The flesh started with a pink made out of a hot red and a tan flesh tone. I went back to the bones and added some yellow, making them look a lot older and stand out more. The flesh wasn't demon enough for me, so I added some streaks of a darker red and a single blue vein on one side. I went back to my fur patch and started roughing up the shapes and trimming where I thought I needed it. Remember to be careful when using razor blades. I went back to finishing up the model, mostly just gluing on the fur and doing the base. Off camera, I struggled a lot to get the candles looking in a way that didn't just look like bone cancer, and after watching a few tutorials for inspiration and changing the color scheme, I was moderately okay with how they looked. The base was just PVA glued sand and cheap acrylic paints. Nothing special, but it really helped offset the amount of red and whites in the model. So there you have it, my first time building and painting for camera. I'm pretty happy with how this thing turned out, and I learned a lot about the video side of things. If you want to see more of what I do, please subscribe and like the video. I got lots of ideas to try out, and I'm open to exploring new things. Comment below if there's something you'd like to see me tackle. Also, you can find me on Instagram under Templar Hobbies. Thanks for watching.